Okay, shalom talmidim. Hello, students. I used to say hello, 7th grade. I used to say R, Y, and J. I used to say, now I have to say hello, 8th grade and 7th grade, R, Y, and J. But now I can't even say R, Y, and J, as our Torahs, our Divrei Torah, have spread from just our yeshiva, just our grade, to various grades in various schools, which Baruch Hashem, it means the Torah is growing, the Torah is being sent around. In fact, there's a famous story of the Baal Shem Tov that he writes, quoted by many, that the Baal Shem Tov had this aliyah, this rising up of his spiritual self, and he entered into the chamber of Mashiach, and he sees Mashiach there, and he asks Mashiach, when are you coming? And Mashiach responds, I'm coming. The famous words of Mar, when is Mar coming? When is Master going to come? And he responds with various things, including the famous words, when your Torah, so to speak, when your teachings flow outward and reach various parts of the world. And he was talking about Chasidus. When Chasidus becomes outstretched amongst the entire world, that's when Mashiach will come. People will have this revelation and this reflection on themselves and learn how to connect to Hashem and the Borei Olam. They'll have this awakening, so to speak, and a Mashiach will then come. So we're getting close. We're at the Ikvus of the Mashiach. People are listening on the doorsteps of Mashiach. So, Hashem, with that, we'll talk about today's Middos Monday. Middos Monday on Wednesday. We were busy the last couple of days, Shushan Purim, and I was out yesterday on Tuesday. So we're doing it on Wednesday. And this Midah revolves around the central idea of Emunah in Hashem, Emunah in the Torah, Emunah in the Chachamim, Emunah in our rabbis. It's very, very important that a person uses the Torah as his guide. We know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world. Histakel ba'araisa, the Zohar says, that Hashem looked into the Torah, ubara alma, and he created the world from the Torah. The Torah existed before we did. The Torah was the manual, was the instruction book of how a person should act in this world. And Hashem used it to create this magnificent world that we have. And through that is the only way that we can connect to a higher self, to connect to a spiritual consciousness, to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to be close with Him. The only way to do that is through the lens of Torah. And so whenever we run into an issue, whenever we run into some sort of dilemma, whenever we run into a hardship in our life, we have to strive to use, it's not easy, but we have to strive to use the Torah as our lens, as our guide. Have emunah in Hashem that this will pass. Just because you're going through a hard patch now, there's ebbs and flows, like the moon. It's up and down. Life is ups and downs. I'll give you one mashal Avram Shor used to say, that when they go to a hospital and the doctors see a person's vital signs, they have that machine that beeps. It's going up and down. Beep, beep, beep. That's the heartbeat. The heartbeat goes up and down. But if a person is chas v'shalom not alive, it's just one solid beep across, one solid line. They're no longer living. A person needs the ups and downs. That's what life is about. The ups and downs of life is necessary to be living, to be alive. If a person just wants the same thing over and over, wants to be stagnant, wants to be, a straight line, they're no longer living. It's a good mashal. So I want to give you 4 stories today, 4 mashalim about Emunah in Hashem and how Hashem is the creator of everything. And therefore, we have to have our trust in Him that He's doing everything for us and for the Jewish people, even if we don't fully understand it at the time. So I'll give you 2 stories that people lacked emunah, and then I'll give you 2 stories that shows tremendous amount of faith. And you'll see the difference, and then you'll answer some questions if you're in R, Y, and J 7th grade right after shir. Otherwise, enjoy the next following mashalim. Mashal number 1, and you tell me, is this a lack of faith or a faith? There was once a man, it's a famous story, he was in the water, somehow overboard, fell into the ocean. And he's drowning, and he's clobbering, and he's saying, Hashem, please save me, help me, saying Shema and everything. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this big boat, a boat drives by. You need help? Let me throw you an overboard thing. Let me throw you a raft, everything. He goes, no, Hashem is going to save me. Don't worry. And the boat goes, okay, and they drive away. Then all of a sudden, a helicopter comes in, and the big light shines down on the ocean out of nowhere, and they see him struggling, and they send down the ladder, and they say, hey, jump on, we'll take you, we'll save you. He goes, no, I'm waiting for Hashem. I asked Hashem to save me. The person obviously drowns, does not take the help, and he goes up to Hashem, says, Hashem, where were you? I was crying for you. I couldn't save myself. Hashem looks at him and says, who do you think sent the boat? Who sent the helicopter? You have to be aware of these things. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is sending us things in our life. We just have to be aware of them. Come on, where's the emunah here? Where's the faith? Where's the understanding? Second guy, another story. Man goes to his Rav. I think I told this earlier in the year. My boys would know. Guy goes to his Rav and he says, Rav, I'd like to purchase a lottery ticket. I really feel that this year I'm going to win the lottery. And I really been praying for it. It's going to change my life. I'm going to be able to give a lot of tzedakah. I'm going to be able to buy svarim for everybody who needs. I'm going to be able to donate to schools and shuls and everything. And I think it's really good if I have the money. I really feel this is going to be good for me. I think I'm going to win. Can I play? I know it's considered gambling. You're not supposed to gamble. Can I play? So the Rav thinks. The Rav says, if you really think you're going to win, you really have emunah, this is what's good for you, you really truly believe HaKadosh Baruch Hu will let you win, because not that it will let you win, but you'll for sure win, because you for sure think it's going to be good for you. So then I would say, if you have tremendous emunah, and you think this is for sure what's best, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will follow, and He will give you what you need, and He will let you win. If you really believe, if you really 100% believe, Hashem will give it to you. With full heart, that you need it and you want it, Hashem will give it to you. He doesn't want to hold. He's like a parent. No parent wants to take away something from the child if the child begs for it every day. So the man says, great news. I'm so excited. I'm going to go buy the lottery, the drawings in a couple days. So he runs to the 7-Eleven. He buys a ticket. And he's very excited. He's going to be a millionaire, multi-millionaire. The next day, the Rav sees him before the drawing, and he says to the man, I've been thinking a lot. And you really showed me a lot of emunah, a lot of faith that you're going to win with that ticket. Did you end up buying it? He says, yeah, I'm telling you, Rabbi, I feel it. I've been davening for it. I really believe it'll be good for me. Hashem should really, really give it to me. So Rabbi says, you really inspired me. I'd like to buy that ticket from you. From the amount of emunah you've had, I really think you might have something there. I'll give you $100 for the ticket. Now, each ticket's about $2. So the man right now just doubled his money. No, $50 would be double, would be 100 times. So he made back, he could buy 50 tickets with that. He made back 50 times what he paid for it. So the man thinks, and he's thinking, you know what? I'll do the deal. I'll do it for $100. It's easy money. And as he's handing over the Rav the ticket, the Rav pulls back his money and says, obviously you don't have extreme faith you're going to win with this ticket. There's not a real emunah. If you had a real emunah that you were about to win $100 million, why would you sell it for 100? Obviously the guy was lacking in his understanding and lacking in his emunah. Hashem was not guiding his life. Now I'm going to tell you two stories that did have emunah. The first one, I'll keep it short just because we have very little time, but I'll try to make it under 10 minutes. The first story is about a daughter who sees their poor family, father, they don't have enough to buy oil, and it's time to light Shabbos candles. The Gemara in Tainus says, these are both from Gemara in Tainus, and the lady and the daughter's crying, and she says, we don't have any oil, how are we going to light Shabbos candles? So the father, the Rav, thinks, and he says, bring me some vinegar. The daughter smiles and says, what does vinegar have to do with anything? You can't light vinegar, everyone knows science. Vinegar won't stay lit. No candle is made out of vinegar. It's made out of oil, wax, He says, if Hashem can deem it, that Shem and Zayis, that oil can last on fire, why can't, if we try, why can't Hashem let vinegar last and be lit? And the story goes that she brought the vinegar and it was lit, and they were able to light Shabbos candles and stay lit. They stayed lit till the end of Shabbos, where they were able to use it for Havdalah, I believe. Unbelievable story. Look at that emunah. Look what happens when you have emunah. Miracles. One last story, and then we'll call it a day. There was once a lady. I'm going to shorten this story because it's a very intense story, but it's very powerful, but I have to shorten it because we're a long time. It's a lady and her husband are very, very poor. And every Friday she was so jealous and she was so sad because all the other women in the community were cooking and cleaning for Shabbos, and she had nothing. So she had nothing coming out of her oven. She had no good smelling foods, no smoke, no steam from the cooking. So every Friday she would put in, Erev Shabbos, she'd put in a couple of pebbles, powders, things from the nature, and it would just create a spark. It would create a smoke to make it believe that she was cooking. She didn't have anything. They ate nothing. They had very little. She wasn't able to cook, so she would put this fake stuff in. One lady walks by and says, Mrs. So-and-so, they don't have any money. How do they have this full smoke of their oven every single Friday? Where do they get this from? I'll have to check this out. So she bangs on the door. She says, I'd like to come in. And now the wife is like, oh no, they're going to find me out that I'm faking it. So she gets very embarrassed. She starts asking Hashem. She starts crying. She doesn't know what to do. This lady's going to find out what went wrong and what she's been hiding this whole thing. She says, Hashem, please help me. I've been doing this for you. I don't want to be embarrassed. I want people to know that I prepare for Shabbos. And so she runs out of the room. The lady eventually just tries opening the door. She gets in, whatever. She goes into the oven. She finds the oven area. And she sees through the window, wherever she sees through the window, the oven was full of loaves of challah, fresh baking bread. She couldn't believe her eyes. The lady herself sees it. She opens her eyes from tears. She looks and she sees the bread. And Hashem performed the miracle for her. Because of her emunah, because of her desire to want to keep Shabbos, and because of her desire not to want to be embarrassed, and to keep her husband and her title and her image good, because she didn't want to be embarrassed amongst her peers, and she had emunah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu would be helpful if they try. Hashem gave her the bread miraculously. So we see the difference between people who have emunah and people who don't have emunah. If you have emunah on Hashem, anything is possible. Anything. If you don't have emunah on Hashem, so then the joke's on you. With that, I'm going to end the Zoom, I'm going to end the video. Please make sure if you're in my class to answer the questions based on the video, and have a wonderful night.